So maybe if we do the exact same thing and just throw every single player at Caleb Williams next week, we can win. Okay. Okie doke. Well, this is session 32 of our time in Wildmount. You have now traveled about 1,950 miles. It is, I didn't get the date down, so I'm not even going to try. You do need to get back to Zadash in 50 days. So just a little review of last time. Starting off, you had a nasty fight with the troll. You did some jumps, shot some lightning bolts and fireballs. You nearly took your fire-breathing potion. After that, you spent the next hour investigating the ship. You broke your way into the captain's quarters and learned about Captain Blundboon and the pirate faction ship Souljack, and how a dragon was coming to pluck them out of the ocean. Felix pocketed a fancy pin with a red eel around a golden trident, a symbol of ship Souljack. You're also able to open the captain's private chest and got a good amount of gold and a magical silver raven statue. Continued raiding the ship and found some miscellaneous supplies, a couple of maps of a place you don't live in. And you got a goat head for Christopher to cook. You broke into the hold and befriended/intimidated some poor kobolds. Last but not least, you went to task excavating the small frozen horde below decks. Using your kobold friends, magic fire, and a large spell and some good old brute force, you cleared out the hold at a fast pace, and with Vugs the kobold in tow, ran as fast as you could from the ship. As you ran, you saw the dragon return, although very much worse for wear, and crashing into the side of the ship. You then continued back to the forest, and within the next day, you were back in the Savalier Wood. Escaping the dragon, you had a nice evening in the woods, the highlight being Felix teaching Vugs how to play cards, and opening treasure, and now Felix can't feel his pinky because he missed a trap. But you did find a magic rock. Oh, look, a little baby. During watch, Felix got a surprising letter from Jonas via their tubes. Firstly, he had successfully killed off the 5 guys. As long as you stayed away from trouble in your old haunts, you should be good to re-enter the Empire. Also, that Ophelia has some official looking documents to get you back in without too much of a hassle. Second, Jonas has found out through whispers that the head of the Myriad and Diastock, Marith Naxilindar, is looking to make a play for the gentleman's position in Zadash, probably working with Saxon and possibly others to do so. Could I have anyone that wants to roll a history check? Real quick. Or I guess I wouldn't say that. I'd say not anyone that wants. Felix, can you roll a history check?
Can I see if it was in the children's encyclopedia?
Yeah, you do you tell everybody about this? I guess that would be the better question. You get one. If you tell everyone else, someone else could roll. But if you're keeping kind of that second part to yourself, then
which part? I can't remember. The part about us being good, or
no, the part about
Mildred, Marith. Yeah, I think I'll tell people because I think there's nothing crazy that I get or any benefits that I get from not telling them.
Yeah, from not telling them. Okay, then one other person can roll, or we'll just have you roll with advantage on it because you told people.
Okay.
So it's roll
again.
Gosh, just trash. You are. I think you're in sense like fucking Saxon making another play for something that I've been doing. Like, why can't he just lose? So just kind of mad about it. You have about 2 more days of travel that are nice and uneventful until you came across a dead body that was slumped over a log covered in moss. You got in a fight with some sort of ghost and some skeletons. You made quick work of the skeletons, but both of your big guys got knocked out by a scream from that ghost. Chonk was able to rush in and stabilize Thel as you then were able to dispatch the ghost. So just a quick retcon because we were kind of scrambling there at the end. If you guys wanted to, you could have actually found and searched things off of that body after the fight. I know you took a rest, so I just would assume that you would have looked at it. Inspecting the body, you found a spell book that was mostly deteriorated with some notes and one spell still intelligible. The spell being Big B's hand. So you would have that to be able to describe. The notes that you found in there was, it looks like the Whispered One likes lies as much as secrets. The lab deep in the woods seems to be nothing more than a fool's errand. Time to return to Zimia and continue my research. Perhaps the Menagerie Coast will bear fruit. And this was dated 735 PD, which is about 100 years ago. If anyone wants to make intelligence or wisdom check, you can get a little bit more information from that. Okay, that's enough. You remember this and things talking about the Whispered One and things like that, relating to that tower that you guys went to in the mist. And I think I marked everything here on this map. You had found a map earlier that had little like marks of where possible where possible laboratories for whatever this Whispered One was, and the one there doesn't look like it was actually marked on here, but the one that was said to be in the woods is non-existent. So this doesn't probably mean a lot, but could be useful information in the future. That was something from a million years ago, but tying up a loose end. Go back to the Green Wildlands. Yeah, other than that, you all took a long rest, or not a long rest, but a rest, and ended up making it to the camp you had been looking for in the early evening. Christopher charmed his way in using his new belt and the sudden ability to speak Dwarvish, and you are now being led to the main building of this wild woodland town. And so to kind of describe where you're at, I had that other map, but it's actually a fair amount bigger than that. It has like a solid, sturdy wooden wall with about like maybe 10 buildings inside of it. It looks like your like Old West type of like outpost. So there's one large building in the center of town, and then a whole bunch of smaller buildings that look mostly like housing and storage. Yeah, there's a strong wooden wall with watch posts along the perimeter. As you walk through, you notice two distinct building styles, though. So on one side, it's very much like simple but well-built buildings, and the other side is much more ornate with curves and that. So it seems that there are definitely two different factions that work here. What that means, who knows? But yeah, in the center there stands a large building. It looks kind of like a saloon, 2 stories, like big boxy. It does kind of incorporate both of those architecture styles into it. And yeah, so you are walking with the two guards, and they're taking you over to that place. As you said that you had business with the Trabians, that they said you could come here and look for work or something. There's something going on. They weren't really clear about what it was, but just that they could use people like you after your success with Jagoda. Yeah, just walking with these two guards. Anything you want to do?
Want to comment on looking at Bigby's hand? The components are an eggshell and a snakeskin glove. That's just weird.
A snake. How do you get a snakeskin glove? And then you crush
Michael Jackson it. You have to do a little Michael Jackson dance before you do it, and crush an egg in your hand.
And who was it that could describe that? Was that me?
Yeah, you can do that. It's expensive. It's I think it's a 5th level spell.
Mm-hmm.
I figure I should give you guys something after nearly killing the party with a single ghost.
Ghosts.
But yeah, so you guys are walking there. Guards are nice enough. They introduce themselves as Sturgill and Syl. Sturgill being the dwarf, Syl being the elf. Yeah, they give you a little bit of history of the camp. It used to be 2 camps, one for the Travians and one for the Vellum Steeple of Ufthadern, which doesn't mean a lot to you. But they used to butt heads, and they still do butt heads a little bit, but they figured out hey, we gotta kind of combine out here in this wild, weird forest. So they work together, and now they built this outpost into almost a small town. But things stay pretty kosher in town. But if people are out on jobs, there's still a lot of backstabbing and bad stuff that goes on. And they get you to the big building and says you can find Zorka Trabian in there if you want to talk to them. You do know that the wares are minimal, mostly tools, food, etc. around in this town. Most buildings are housing and storage, and if you start trouble, you better be able to end it. Very much a Deadwood type place. So you guys walk into the bar, or is there something else you want to do beforehand? Did everyone heal up after that fight? You roll your hit dice and...
Yeah, I'm at 58 out of 59, so I must have done... Oh yeah, and I have less hit dice.
Okay. Just making sure everyone heal up as much as you want, because you did take a short rest while you were out there. Okay. You see a sign over the building, and it says the Shady Steeple. That looks like that's what they named this bar and establishment. And entering, there's a kind of a pit with some tables. It looks like there's a little bit of a gambling hall, and then there's a bar in the back, half of it being green, half of it being purple. 2 card tables surround the bar, but most of the place is just tables and booths, fairly packed with people drinking and talking. Doors line the outside of the tables. On the upstairs mezzanine surrounding them, women and men surrounded, drinking and yelling down to those below. A staircase leads underground, pretty much straight in front of you, open by the tables. Leading down, there are 2 thick iron vault doors next to each other, and a hardy Goliath and thin elf stand guard. Lastly, 2 doors segregated by a thick slab of iron sits upstairs. Doors, again, aligning to the colors of the bar. So it looks very much that there's a clear delineation of one side versus the other here. So the guards lead you to it, and you guys are at this bar. What would you like to do?
Does this seem hostile in there, or is it just that people have segregated themselves? Similar to like a cafeteria where like people that you have your cafeteria table and you sit at your cafeteria table.
Yeah, it's more like a cafeteria table. It looks like this is just how it was built originally, but it seems that there's no animosity in there. It's just general, just the segregation might be more by the powers that be than the people that are there. So yeah, you don't know the people enough. Like you do see people that would be like look very much like the people that lived in Shady Creek. That just kind of rough leathers that they might have a few markings on them. Other than that, you do see a bunch of dwarves and elves there as well that are kind of in slightly better attire. So that's kind of how you could define the two factions. One is like just a hodgepodge of people, and the other is almost exclusively dwarves and elves. And like, yeah, like even elves, like you notice like elves with beards, which doesn't happen very often. You guys don't really know much about Uthadern or anything up there, but you would assume that that is something for of them, and they seem to all be hanging out more or less. There's a little bit of integration, but a lot of like just you're hanging out with your people. So yeah. And just as a reminder, the letter that you had gotten was Tatia gave you kind of like a written permission to come up here and do some work and or help. The guy who runs this place, his name is Zorka. He is one of the family members of the Travian, like heads of the Travian family. You don't really know much about him, but yeah, that's kind of your one link here is that there were some troubles that and kind of a Wild West town where you go find your fortune type place. So, what do you all want to do? There's cards, there's drinks, there's whoring.
Whoring.
So,
like prostitution. Am I hearing that word right?
yes, you're hearing that word right. There's that if you want it. It looks like there's maybe a couple rooms in here for passerbys, like people that run supply runs or things like that. But yeah, so
I like to ask around to try and find Zorka.
okay. Yeah, if you go up to the bar, there's yeah, they're up at the bar. There's a dwarven bartender that's just kind of cleaning a glass and like handing out the beers and whiskeys. And he's there. He's like, "Hey, what can I get for you? You look new in town. Why the fuck would you come all the way up here?"
Well, I came here looking for work. Me and my friends. We were told that there might be some things we can help out with. We have a very special set of skills.
Oh, it's some of those adventuring types. Okay. Well. I guess you can probably call down the boss if you want him. Which side are you with? And he points like he's like,
"Excuse me."
He said, "Which side are you with?" And he's like on either side of the bar, like the purple side or the green side. Like you with those green glass blades, or you with those people, the Shady Creeks?
Well, I don't think we align ourselves with either group.
I just need to know what boss to go get.
I guess then the Shady Creeks.
Okay, and he like pulls a lever on the right side of the bar, and you don't hear anything. He's like, "Well, I did that for you. You gonna buy a drink? You need some food?"
Yeah, yes, I'll buy something.
My name's Kraglin, by the way. Nice to meet you.
Kraglin? Nice to meet you as well.
At this time, Chomp.
Oh, wait. Do you have any yolk?
Yolk, no. We're a Yepsy place. They don't get yolk up here.
No. Settle for an ale then.
I want a Coca-Cola, but I'll settle for a beer.
Water, thank you.
Water, thank you. Have you ever been with someone when they said we don't have Coke and they said fine, they say we have Pepsi and they say fine, I'll have water, and it's the most awkward thing in the actual world.
My wife.
Your wife? Okay. I don't know why I find it
Is Diet Pepsi okay? No, I'll have water.
I don't know why that's funny.
Did we lose Chris?
Yeah, I think he said he was having technical issues.
We'll just keep going for a second then. So yeah, he pulls this, you get an ale. Are the rest of you guys just standing with him? Chonk and Bugs. Bugs not fitting in at all here as a little kobold guy, like has his little hood up and is walking through. Like Chonk just kind of like, here, I'm just gonna go take him to a booth over there and keep him out of sight. I don't want any trouble. So they're just sitting in a booth and just talking. So they're kind of off the side. Are you guys all go up to the bar with Felix, or are you doing anything else? There's some cards. There's people to talk to, but
I probably just went with him.
Yeah, I probably get a drink and some food. Maybe I have an ear open and thing, but just chilling.
Okay. Yep. So yeah, you guys just can pay. Like prices are a little high here because it's that. So I'd say like food and drink just for all of you guys. Like you just get like a pork platter of like a smattering of cheese, meats, and bread and some ales. It'll run you like 3 silver. Whoever wants to pay that.
I got it.
I got this.
I got you guys.
With your thousands of gold in your bag. Yeah, so you have your meal, and then shortly later a kind of like very built dwarf comes out of the door upstairs and starts coming down the stairs, and he says, "Kraglin, who called me? What's going on?" And he's looking that like I said, a built dwarf wearing some like leather armor, but with some like finer clothing underneath. Let's see. Yeah, he comes down, but he's looking tired and just kind of wants to know what's going on. And Kraglin goes, "Hey, these guys wanted to talk to you." Immediately forgot the voice that I was doing for Kraglin.
That was it.
Hey, what you guys want? Okay.
1930s gangster almost.
Yeah. Hey.
But not a good one.
Not a good. Yeah. Just one of the guy that goes and gets the beers for the other people. Yeah, so he comes down and he says, and he's like, "Okay, so new people in town, assume you need some work. Just because I doubt anyone remembers, Carrick, you actually have the letter from Tatya that said these guys could help out with any troubles going on. So you can hand that over."
Okay.
This was given maybe 8 months ago to you. 8 months ago of real time, in game time, like 2 months. So
Okay.
So
Okay.
I wasn't gonna make anyone try and remember that because I barely did. I had to go back through the logs.
Yeah,
Like,
I don't remember that at all. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and he goes, he reads the letter, and he's like, "My damn sister, always trying to give me help. And can't I just run this place myself? But I guess I can accept it. This guy, like, he seems very jovial and excited and like happy to talk to you. He seems like a good guy, like as good as a head member of a crime family can be. But he's obviously like, he gives you a bit more history. He's like, yeah, I've been setting this place up and almost got it up to like a full town. You can see like things are not kind of nice now. When I first started this place, it was nothing but a bunch of tents and a bunch of people killing each other. So you got to go good. You have to deal with those Uthadurnian assholes, but things are going pretty good. And that was until recently. Yeah, there's having some trouble. People starting to abandon the place. It seems every few nights, some ash flows in from a bit to the west, and get attacked by some weird ass monsters. They look like soldiers from some sort of place. They look like a regimented, fold in their armor and but they're made completely of ash. You kill them, everything just turns into a pile. We don't really know what quite's going on. We've kind of not been able to track it back, because after every attack we kind of just need to regroup. And half our people are up already in the ruins of Malazmir doing the work we're here for, but we just don't quite have the bandwidth to send people out in to really investigate it. So, and that's probably the trouble Tati was talking about. But we'd love some help if you can provide it. But otherwise, it looks like you got free reign to, you can go up into Malazmir. Be careful. A lot of backstabbing up there, but there's lots of riches to find if you're willing to do the work and stay out of the way of the Wolf King.
Never fear, the four daddies are here.
The four daddies. That is
I just look at him. I was like, "Is that what we're going with?"
We had to change it to something.
I mean, Five Guys truly never made sense, but
the four
daddies. It's also especially funny because of replacing dudes with daddies skit.
Yeah, that's. I was telling them about it yesterday, and I think that's where it's coming from. It's so funny.
It's so funny. It made me laugh so hard.
Yeah,
it's more numerically accurate, but I don't think any of us have children.
And Thel did.
Oh,
might still. No one knows.
Thel and I have never talked.
You don't talk to anybody.
You are only talked to. You do not do the talking. And that's funny.
What's this about? A Wolf King?
Oh yeah, it's you ever heard of a Rat King? It's a bunch of rats that get tied up on their tails.
That's a thing.
It actually is a real thing.
No, I'm playing a character.
Okay, I couldn't tell by the voice. Yeah, think about that, but wolves. If you hear it, just fucking run. And
that's here.
That is up in the ruins of Malazmir, about a day and a half to the northwest of here. Mm-hmm. Yeah, if you see on the map, does the map show the Malazmir?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, so there. So yeah, it kind of just roams around. I mean, everything is kind of fucked there, but that's the most fucked thing that I've run into. Now I used to delve in there all the time, but now it's more of I do management of this place, trying to, keep it growing, become maybe an actual town someday. We'll call it Zorka's shithole. I don't know. Let's see. Yeah, so he tells you, and he's like, "Hey, I don't expect help, but But he's like, oh, I do have to say, if you're not going to be helping or do anything like that, if you are going to the ruins of Malasmere, please come back because we do need to take our general cut of whatever you find. Again, that's just business. We take about a 60% cut of whatever goods you find.
60%.
Hey, gotta run things somehow. We are a crime family. 60% seems pretty generous to me. It could do. I know some of those Jagantoths with some of their things, they take an 80% cut of whatever you're doing. That's why Shady Creek's probably isn't the shithole that it is. Everyone just looking out for themselves instead of trying to build something nice. Yeah. You get a very quick like insight, much like your other friend Jagoda.
Can I get an impression of whether he's actually like wanting 60% or if that's just like some bullshit he's making up off the cuff?
Oh, yeah, you can roll an insight check.
I can find the stupid thing. Let's see if I get a good roll.
You have never gotten a good roll, Crit. No, 16. Yeah, the 16, you think that, yeah, he's just kind of like, that's the company line, but you get the impression that this guy just actually wants to build this town up and make it an actual thing as opposed to just some outpost. So, he'd be much more willing to like wheel and deal and like do what's best for this place. This guy is very affable and very like, yeah, very likable.
Zorka, 60% is a bit rough. I would love to help you out here. All right. Me and my friends were very good at taking care of problems for people. We've been doing it for a long time.
No. Okay.
60% is I think I'm happy to go 40% for you, and we will take care of everybody outside of there and make sure that you can build this to be the best place that it can be for Zorka's bullshit a town of everything.
Zorka's shit.
Hell, build an amusement park for all I care.
You drive a hard bargain, but nah. Fuck, you take care of these troubles here. I can make that work.
What do you say, fellas? What do you say, daddies?
What's up, daddies?
I want to say yes without any context.
By the way, your new name is the Four Daddies.
Awesome.
Magical Daddy is in.
Magical Daddy. Yeah, so as this is happening, Zorka kind of like is like, okay, well, I'm gonna go upstairs and let me just, give me a little bit and then I'll come and, come talk to you. Go get yourself a room and maybe get a little bit of rest. And well, not a ton you can do now because we don't know where this ash thing happens. And so once it happens, then we'll be calling on you.
I have one more request. Perhaps you can help us with.
Hit me.
I have a little friend who's a little scared of everybody in here, but I think he could be helpful to you. He's a good little helper.
Okay, and you like point over to Chonk and
I motion for Bugs to come over.
Yeah. Bugs comes over. Chonk is just like standing like as a bouncer around him, like his security detail. And they come over. And Bugs is like, and just like kind of hunched around looking. Like Bugs probably hasn't seen this many people in 3 years. He was living in a frozen ship hold.
I'd like you to give him a job when you get up and running. He'll do anything you need, right?
Yeah. It's warm here, and it's not.
And it won't cost you anything. It won't cost you anything.
Like,
You'll work for.
I can do stuff. You're just pawning off Bugs immediately.
Well, I don't want him hanging around with us.
Yeah. Yeah. Kraglin looks at him. He's like, "Oh fuck! I forgot his voice again. Hey, can you wash dishes? Can you clean a cup?" He's asking Bugs. I'm talking to my fucking self. Yeah, I can do that. He's like, "Come back here. Show me what you got." And Bugs goes into the back. He's like, "We don't discriminate here. Look where the fuck we are. Those trees don't even go in the right direction." It's like looking at an MG Escher picture. This world's MC Escher. MG Escher. And Bugs goes back there and just like takes a cloth and just starts cleaning. Immediately goes to work. This thing used to like take care of a dragon's boat, so knows how to like do things for other people. Chomp goes, I think I'll just stick around and make sure that little guy doesn't get into trouble while you guys take care of whatever you're doing. So then with that, your two NPCs are no longer part of the adventure right now, and I don't have to worry about them.
I enjoy you having to talk to yourself though.
I was waiting for someone to respond, and I'm like, oh, I'm the person that has to respond. So Zorka goes up, just kind of says like you can get a room, unless while you're temporary. If you are going to stay for longer, they can probably put you up in one of the barracks or the like lodge houses that they have for more permanent residents. But until then, and he's like, you just kind of have to wait until the ass shows up, and just kind of goes off. He's like, I got to go get some paperwork done. We're sending people down for supplies down to Shady Creek, and just got to make sure that everything's in order. We're getting what we need. So he starts going upstairs. Around this time, after he leaves, you see this other, much skinnier, like almost sickly looking dwarf come down out of the other door. That's like kind of that barricaded upstairs door, and comes down and he's like, "Who are these people in my bar?" As he looks down at you, and he comes down. He's like, "New people from Shady Creek, I see. What are you here for?" "My name is Clive Loxley." Nope, that's not his name. Is it his name? Son of a bitch. Where's his name? Clive Noxley. I was close. Clive Noxley. What are you doing here?
Laugh at a dwarf. Classic. The old name switch.
And he goes, "Yes, of course." What are you doing here? I have not heard that you would be coming down from Uthadern, so I am very curious about what you are doing here. You must be here, and you seem very well equipped. Are you coming to take care of any problems here?
We're here with Zorka. You can.
Well, I promise you, I pay better than Zorka.
Hey, don't worry about the payment. We're not concerned with the payment.
But I can pay you better. Yes. So Clive comes down and is immediately like off-putting and gross, but like you don't even have to. With that 16 insight you had before, he is the exact opposite of this guy. He's like, I will pay you to take care of this, as opposed to you just having to figure things out. And as long as you give me a glowing recommendation that I was the mastermind behind it, and I can get out of this shithole of a place and maybe get back to town, back to a place where I can do better work for myself and myself. Think
For yourself
about
and yourself. Interesting.
Says, you see downstairs, you saw those vaults as you walked in. They are connected in a weird way. There's one for each faction here, and if one is opened against if one is opened without the other being opened, it sets an alarm off to both of us. So now we can always like be watching each other. So I don't know which one is being broken into, but I could say I could probably look to the side and maybe open those vaults for you if you can do this for me.
What exactly do you need from us?
I need you to take care of the problems and say it was me so I can get out of the shithole.
I mean, if we take care of the problems, you can just leave.
No. I'm here to prove myself as a leader of a community. I need the credit.
Have you considered leading your community?
Make an intimidation check with advantage. I know you get a -2 on this, but that just was a very good line. DC is going to be low. Oh, thank goodness. A 12. He says, I guess that's a thing I could do, but that's a lot of work with these ragabonds. Ragabonds, not vagabonds, ragabonds that all live here. It seems I'm barking up the wrong tree. But remember,
Listen,
yes.
I think we can. I think your look needs a little bit of updating, and
What do you mean?
maybe you can change the look up a little bit and change the demeanor a little bit, and you'll be a better leader. And I would like to offer him some of the pomade from my pomade of
Many styles.
10,000 styles.
Okay. And he like takes it out, and the guy is like, I wonder how this will work. And then as he runs it through like this like black flop of a hair, you see it lifts up a little bit, and you notice that it is a toupee, and puts it through, but then it like just fluffs. It's like, is this a better look?
Oh yeah.
Okay, well, just remember my offer. You come to me and give me the credit for this, and I'll have some papers written up, and it might do a little damage to the stability here if I have to leave. I know that I don't seem like a leader, but I at least keep the trains running on time. Trains don't exist in this world. The shipments coming through, I'm good at paperwork. I'm just not built for this rugged lifestyle. So
You and me both.
Please help me.
But
I will make it worth your while. So
I'm gonna turn around and walk away.
Okay. This guy sucks ass. You immediately knows, but he is willing to like hook you up with stuff if you help him out. But Zorka obviously is a much more likable guy, and helping him out might be more of what you want. Yeah, so you guys can all get rooms. You have a couple drinks. hold on. Okay. Yep. So, yeah, you guys are, it's been a long ass day. It's probably now not early evening. It's probably sitting about 9:30. It's about like probably time for you guys to want to go to sleep. And as you're sitting there finishing your last drinks, getting a room from Kraglin, you suddenly hear just kind of like you hear a bell ring, like ding 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 ding, and then through the front under or the door, kind of like it's a closed door, but you kind of see like from underneath some black substance coming in underneath, and at that point Clive immediately runs upstairs and you see it runs up to his office, and then you hear the door open, and Zorka walks out and goes, "Oh fuck, not again." And then walks back in and comes out with this, like, much like your musket, but it looks like a like rustic ass shotgun, and starts walking out, and he's like, "Hey y'all, know it's late, know you look tired as hell, but shit's about to go down, so your services might be needed right now." And he starts charging outside.
And to do whatever the equivalent of a cock or whatever that shit is called with the musket.
Yeah, with the musket, just pull it down, pop something in.
Just, yeah, do a real good plug.
To load your gun. It takes 35 minutes. What's it? You're a minute man if you could reload the gun in a minute. Yeah, so if are you guys gonna follow, or are you guys staying in? Time to go to work?
Yeah, it's time to go to work.
You guys, by the way, you guys have not had a long rest, so whatever you are at, all spells that you have used are gone, any resources are still gone. This has been a long ass day that started with a ghost yelling at you. Okay, so following Zork out, you can see the west wall of town is in flames. And there's ash, just like now you see it's like black ash, and now you can see like it's also white on top. It's just almost like raining from the sky, like a plume. If someone can make a perception check as you run out.
Okay.
Yeah. So coming, and you notice this, and like it's a big full moon, so it's kind of like glinting off, and but there's a streak across, and you're like, somewhere out to the west, there just seems to be a plume of ash billowing out. And you see that the both sides, like the obvious glass blades, they're kind of wearing this armor that kind of like looks like glass. That's kind of why they're called that. And also a bunch of shady creatures are fighting side by side against what looked like knights made of ash, and led by one like very large plated like horrible looking knight that is full of that is like almost like gleaming fiery eyes as you do that. And I would like everybody to roll initiative.
Okay, they're wearing glass armor.
It's not glass armor, it's just like how it's stylized looks like glass, and like their weapons, like it's hard to kind of describe, just like how it's stylized looks. There might be like a shiny veneer that almost makes it look like glass. It is not like it's not Morrowind where glass armor is somehow the best light armor.
Well, the Horn of Blasting has advantage against glass and crystal, so There might be some blasting some people soon.
Okay, yeah, so let's gonna do this mostly theater of mind because I didn't want to draw a map. But turn tracker. There aren't any current tokens on to take that turn. Son of a gun. Why can't you just do this for me? Okay, I'm just going to write it down. Okay, what do we got?
You tried the Control U feature? I've never noticed that before.
I've never seen it before either. Right click add turn. You can also use the shortcut Control U to quickly add groups. Yeah, there's no tokens on this page, but let's see. So Christopher gets a 20. Felix gets a 21. Classic Thel getting a 4. It's a 14. Okay, and Thel. Let's say 2. Then I need to roll for a couple. Okay, this guy. Right. And we need veteran. Okay. You are pretty much no matter what going to go first, Carrick, or not Carrick, Felix. What you see in front of you are about 10 of the people that are obviously not these ashen creatures, fighting off about 4 or 5 of these well armored, but kind of like the lesser of the group. They're like it's kind of like 2 groups of 5 fighting 2 groups of 2. So 2 ashen people, 5 of the other guys. There's one like very like obviously the head guy with the glowing red eyes, and then 2 larger ashen guys in like full plate armor. So they're all within the group that's fighting your allies that are fighting are, you know, kind of over probably about 40-50 feet away, and it looks like these other 3 are charging towards the main building to do something. So, and they're probably about 20-30 feet off.
Okay. In that case, I would like to cast Lightning Lure at least one of those guys.
Okay. Yep. The
see if I can
big guy
pull-
or the other two medium guys. That's the best way to, I guess.
One of the two that's running towards a building.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead. And is that a
The DC 13.
DC 13? Okay. It will roll its save. DC 13 what?
Strength.
Strength, okay. That is a 12. So it hits.
Okay, so they're gonna take. They're gonna be pulled. They're gonna take 1d8, so 6 lightning damage.
Okay.
And they're gonna be pulled 10 feet towards me.
Okay.
Which
yeah,
I'm hoping, I'm kind of treating that hopefully as like preventing them from one of them from like going towards the building.
Yeah, so you guys have kind of come out and you're kind of in the center square and you see them like bolting towards that building, and so you're able to reach one that now gotten its so of those three you kind of like got the one on the right hand side and it's pulled towards you, and it's kind of like 10 feet away from your group now, as but also separated from its like formation of three big juggernauts running into the building. Anything else you want to do?
No.
52 minus 6 is 46. Okay, let me just roll their initiative real quick. That's a natural 1. This die might be going in the fuck off bin. So he gets a 1 plus 1, so 2. That is a 13 plus 0. Ooh, wow. Okay, next up it is Carrick.
Or is it me?
No, sorry, yes, you're right. It is the other person that starts with a C. It's Christopher the Barbarian.
All right, I'm gonna yell for everybody to get out of the way. I want to blow my horn.
Okay, yeah. What's the range of the horn?
It is a 30-foot cone.
Yep. So you would be able to angle it in a way that would just hit the three that are running towards that. The other people are far enough away, so you'd be good. What do I need for?
DC 15.
DC 15 for all three of them. So this is the first knight that's closest to you. He gets a what is it? Constitution.
Constitution, yeah.
Yep. So he gets a 14. So the first guy fails. We'll do the big guy. Gets another natural 1. That guy's rolled back-to-back natural 1s. And then the last guy, all three fail. This die is done for the day.
5d6 thunder damage and deafen for 1 minute. Oh, and they have disadvantage if they're glass or crystal. So
yeah, they are.
That.
No,
Nice.
they're wearing full plate armor, all three of them. So yeah, just tell me how much damage.
Yep, 5d6. Oh Jesus! That was some bullshit right there. I was so excited for that. Now I'm gonna blow everybody up and do more damage on this 20% chance that the horn explodes.
Oh yeah,
they have disadvantage on their next attack.
They're deafened.
Or on their save.
For 1
they would
minute.
have disadvantage on their save if they are glass or crystal.
Cool.
How much damage was it? I don't have both of my monitors, so I have
13.
13. Hey, that's less than half. 33. 52 minus 13 is 39.
39.
And yeah, even though it's not good damage, it still like reels all of them. Is there anything else? Does it do any pushing or pulling or anything like that?
Deafened.
Oh, it's just deaf. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So they're deaf, but they also like as this horn blows into them, it's almost like instead of like, oh, it just like hurts me, like it's part of their bodies get blown off because they're like almost made of ash. So it's just like and just this big plume of ash goes up in the air and then is kind of floating and settles. Did you roll to see if the horn?
How do I do? Yeah. Oh, roll. Let's see. Like 1d5, right?
And you can roll 100, and if it's under 20%, it blows up.
Oh, there we go. It blows up.
Oh no!
Oh no!
5d6 to me.
We'll just say you take the same 13.
Yeah. That's fair. I'll take that.
Stoked for this move.
I was so stoked.
Oh, that's a magic item gone.
Seemed like the right time.
I didn't even see. What did you roll?
Oh, I'm in a weird setting. I did advanced roller and I can't get out.
Oh, you have to
Simple
click
roller.
Let's see.
Do 4 more 46. We want to just see how spectacularly this fails. Yeah, there we go. Let's get some natural 6s in there.
Yeah, so
20. I'll take the 20.
Well, okay, you take the 20 damage and just as it just blows up in your hand and just like it hits you and just rocks your head.
It's my second catastrophic instrument.
Yeah. You just gotta stick
like
to that.
Hendrixing at it right now. I'm gonna roll with it. I should have said I was raging too, but
okay, and then you go into
this is like the equivalent of a guitar smash. So I'm just gonna roll that this is a rock star move right here.
Okay. Yes, you can say that. You blew it. You blew so hard you broke it.
Persuade myself. Yeah.
Yeah. Okie doke. Now it is the second night just got kind of rocked, and the helm guy like points to that knight and points to the building, and he starts running off towards the building. He gets his movement in there, and he's probably about like 15-20 feet from the entrance to the building. That's his turn though. Carrick, it is your turn.
So remind me how far away they are and how close they are to each other.
So they are one is probably about 40 feet away heading towards the building. One's about 30 feet behind him. Kind of like in that kind of formation. I don't know how to describe it. And then one is about 10 feet away from your group. I don't know exactly how you guys are formed up. Christopher's obviously in front, having just blown his horn. And then the others are kind of like maybe like flanking in some. You tell me when it's your turn where you would have been standing at this time. You guys are just kind of standing in the center square of this outpost.
Well, I'm gonna try to align at least 2 of them along a lightning bolt shot.
Yes, you can definitely do that.
Okay.
You wouldn't be able to get the other one, but you could get the big guy and the one that was pulled towards you.
Okay. As we're gonna go, we'll just do it as base level.
Okay.
So DC 17.
So for the first knight, that is a 19 plus dex save, so plus 0 9. And the second guy gets a 16. So one fails, one passes.
All right. One gets 29 and one gets half that.
Oh, so that first guy that gets hit, like almost like staggers down, like you see more of that ash blown away, and like one of his arms is just completely crumbled and gone. That's this guy, 29, Maurice. And the bigger guy like takes it, kind of like reels for a second. But it seems to keep going, but his attention is definitely now on you. Oh, he has advantage on the save, sorry. Oh, so he only takes the
half.
Yeah. Okay. I guess they both take half because the other guy saved. So
yep.
What's half of 29, 15?
Yeah. Depending on how you want to round it.
Yeah. 20, 15. Okay. Yeah, is there anything else? Where are you kind of standing in relation to everybody?
So in the like in toward the like in the inline direction with these guys, I'm probably like in the middle, but I've moved laterally in order to align the shot. So whatever that means.
Okay. Yeah, so but like are you standing behind? Do you think you're standing behind the group?
I'm probably toward the back, but not the very back. I imagine myself as like middle-ish.
Okay. Cool. Well, next up will be that knight that you just blasted, who's going to run towards you but can't quite get to you. It will end up getting probably to Thel or Christopher, whoever wants to say they intercept this guy before they get their wizard. We'll go with Thel because nothing's happened to you yet. And he is going to immediately take two long or great sword attacks at you. The first one is not going to hit, and the second one is a natural 20. So comes down, like misses it, you kind of dodge, and then the second one like comes up and like on the back swing catches you underneath the arm, slicing you, and you take. I do not have any d6s here. Five, 6, 7, 8, 9, 13 plus 3, 16 points of damage as the sword comes up underneath like one of the plates in your armor. And then it is going to, nope, that will be its turn as it kind of like then stands in front of you like with its sword at the ready. Yep. Next up will be the 4 veterans that are fighting those 2 other Ashen guys that are fighting the group of 10. We're just doing a straight roll for them. As they're fighting, one of the Ashen creatures goes down, but also takes one of the shady creatures down with them as it just kind of like stabs up into it as one of the other friends like puts an axe into its back of its neck, and it just crumples into a pile of ash but falls backwards. One of them dead on top of them. That ends there. That brings it to you, Thel. You have the guy that just hit you straight in front of you. There's also the bigger guy in kind of about 20 feet away, and the person running for the building. There's also the 3 guys fighting about another 9 over on the other side.
Sorry, can I retroactively take the damage from the guy that was going down? No, that's only for somebody to hit already.
Yeah, no, it's and it's too far away. I think I don't know.
Okay, great.
But no, that this is just kind of mechanically. Those guys are just I roll a d4 to see how many people die. Kind of mitigate, not have them roll attacks against each other and have nothing for you guys to be doing about that. But yeah, so you did see that one of them go down though, and and yeah, so you have the kind of those three guys kind of closer, and then about 60 feet away the bigger dudes or the littler dudes.
And there's one running for a building that's getting away from us, or no?
Yeah, the one's running for the main building where you were kind of fighting, or where you were hanging out about to get your room in that, where Bugs and Chonk and Clive, poor Clive is in there if you want to save him. But
yeah, I will voltage blast at my dude running away here. See if I can.
Yeah, you could probably angle it. Or how long is that blast?
60 feet long.
Okay, yeah, you can definitely hit him, and it will probably go straight through the guy that's in front of you as well.
Okay.
You kind of would almost have to, because he's like a big kind of hulking dude right in front of you, so you can send it straight through both of them.
Okay. DC 15 saving throw.
DC 15 for both of them. That is what kind of saving throw? Dex?
Dexterity, yeah.
Yeah, so that's a fail, and that's a fail. They both fail, so...
Okay, 4d6 plate.
Okay. Perfect. Okay, 17. Oh, man, so close. The one in front of you, like, crumbles, and now it's like its leg, like, at the knee is blasted off, so it's kind of like standing on one knee, only has one arm, wielding this great sword at you, barely limping to be alive. The other guy that was running to the place, like, takes it in the back, but is still chugging and running into the place. That would be a... Okay. Anything else with your turn?
That's my action. Yeah, I don't really have anything I can do bonus at this point, so that's all I got.
Yep. Okay. That would finally bring it to the big guy's turn, who is going to like kind of look at the current situation and what is he going to do? I think he's just going to rush in and help his compatriot standing up against there, and he's going to see all the lightning that has come through, and he is going to kind of put himself in between where Thel and Carrick would be and take one attack on each of you. That is the first one is a 18 to hit you, Carrick.
Okay.
That hits.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Okay. You take 10 points of slashing damage and 1 point of fire damage as this sword that's kind of just in flame around it just kind of slices up to you, and then for
use that reaction to reduce damage.
Yeah, you could use your reaction to reduce damage.
Ooh, that is, what's that, 2d somethings? What's that? 2d6.
Yeah. So you take 4 points of damage total. And then the one against Thel, of course, isn't going to hit. That's another 18. As he slices up there, is then going to use its bonus action to give a rallying cry, and that's, you don't need to know what that does. But he lets out this but it's almost like a choked rasp that comes out that is of some language that used to be something but isn't anymore. And that brings it back to Felix's turn.
All right. So from what I understand, there's one in front of Thel who looks pretty.
Who's
not
about
great.
on literally its last leg. It only has one.
There's another guy who's ahead of him.
No, another guy of similar build running to the building, and then probably just up to your left would be the big commander guy, and then the people fighting over there.
Yeah, I'm not worried about them.
Yeah.
Is the big commander guy engaged with anyone?
He's engaged with both Thel and Carrick.
Okay. In that case, I am going to attack him.
Big guy.
The big guy. Yes.
17 does not hit. Poor Felix. You come in and it just you try to jab it up, but it's just the plate is too thick, so the dagger just kind of doesn't get in.
I am going to disengage as
and
well.
Rock around, kind of escape.
Yeah, just kind of back up.
Yeah. That's the end of your turn then. So that's Christopher the Barbarian's turn. You have a guy in front of you that you can hit, and the guy you'd have to kind of move around to hit.
Just hit the first thing I see. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Roll to attack.
Fireball. Reckless.
Oh, imagine that. It hits. Yep, and you just bring it down, and the armor all turns immediately into ash and just falls onto the ground.
Can I get
So now you have
to the next dude?
you would have to move a little bit to get the one that's currently attacking Thel and Carrick, or you can go after the guy that's running to the building, which is probably only about 40 feet away, so you could get there with your movement.
Yep, I'll do that.
Okay, so you run after him and you take it your attack?
Yep.
Okay. Jesus criminy. Yep, that hits. However, you do notice the fire just kind of licks off of it. And so you see as you hit, there's nothing happens as the fire normally would singe something. It just kind of almost emboldens the ash. So it takes
one point is really good.
Yeah. But it's not looking good as it's running in. That brings it to its turn. Kind of without anything else it can do now that's engaged with you, it's going to take 2 attacks on you, Christopher. That is 17 to hit.
I have a 17. So
Yeah.
Oh man.
I'll roll the other one. That is a 17 again.
Man, that's my first time not being a 16 and all this time.
Okay, we'll roll the damage.
Does it gets advantage too? I guess just give it a chance to critical.
I'll roll just in case it gets natural 20s. But no, but you're wearing that adamantine armor now, so it doesn't even.
Oh no, I'm not though. Wait, yes I am. Yep, I am. Yep.
Oh. 5, 11, 12, 15 plus 21 points of damage from the 2 swings at you. And
21.
Yeah, so 21 reduced down to 11 or 10. I never know if you round up or down. And that will end its turn, which brings it to Carrick. You have just the big guy straight standing up in your face.
Yeah. So go ahead.
No, you're good.
I think I'm just gonna do a Thunder Wave level 2. I'm gonna try to
Knock him away from me.
Okay.
Um,
DC 17 Constitution.
it is, yes, correct.
I'm rolling like dog shit. That is a 9.
A 9.
So he is pushed 15 feet away and takes a whopping 6 damage.
6 damage. Lovely. Look at all those ones.
That's really bad.
That's garbage.
Yeah, so he gets pushed, staggered back, and just stares down at you with these red, like gleaming eyes through this helmet.
Okay.
30 minus 6. 30. What's 32 minus 6?
20.
20.
Yeah.
26.
20. Yes, 26.
Okay. Ryan, you just like disappeared into your blanket.
Invisibility.
It's an invisibility blanket.
Invisibility cloak, yeah.
That your turn, or are you gonna move or?
I guess so. I've knocked him away from me, so I can kind of put a little more distance between us without getting opportunity, right?
Yep, you can go behind as far away as you want.
Okay, I'm gonna use all my speed to just put some space between us.
Okay, yeah. So now you're like 45 feet away from him, so he couldn't even probably close the distance at this point if you're just going back, or you could go over towards the other fight. But no matter what, you can get far enough away to where you're in safety.
Can I move toward? I want to move whatever direction is going to put that distance between us without putting me like that minimizes the distance from the rest of my group, if that makes sense. I don't want to just be off in the ether somewhere.
Yeah, so you end up behind your group essentially.
Okay. Sure.
Yeah, you kind of rock around and you have 2 people are still standing there.
Okay.
Or actually only Thel is, because Felix also kind of dashed back. But speaking of, so now it is those other people fighting. 2 more of the Shady Creek people die as at the hands of this one that is just almost in rage, just cutting down. Like, these people were not ready for a fight. They weren't armed really. They're just like ran out to see what was happening and now are like picking up a club, or they have like their side dagger. So 2 more of one of the glass blades and one of another Shady Creeker falls, but they do take out the other Ashen veteran. So there's 2 left fighting at that point we now have 2 on 7. So next up is Thel. You have the big guy standing next to you, and then about 40 feet away is Christopher fighting one of them. Take my attacks. And how much damage is that total? 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31. Yeah, with deadly precision after being hit so egregiously earlier. Just like go for almost that same place where you got hooked under your plate. You find that same exact place that you just jab your sword up through it. The electricity goes out and the big guy crumples to the ground, dead. So that guy's gone. Which will then bring it back to Felix's turn. You have the people fighting over in the corner and the one that's fighting Christopher.
Okay. I guess I'm gonna walk, like, make my way to the people fighting out. Like, it seems like this dude's well taken care of.
I'm gonna use my reaction to give a little wink. Yeah.
And so I'm gonna walk over to the other people that are fighting.
Uh-huh.
Is there anyone there that's like
you could get most of the way there. If you dash, you could go up and attack one of the Ash guys.
Cool. Let's do that.
Yep, and you'll have also. No, you won't have advantage, but you would be able to do sneak attack on it.
Okay.
Please hit. You hit. You hit exactly. Okay, and as you run up behind that one, it was already taking a little bit of battering from the other people. You're able to just take your short sword around and just stab it straight through the top of the neck to crumple it down into a pile of ash, leaving one left over there, which will bring it to Christopher's turn. You have this guy in front of you that just hit you pretty good. That does not hit.
Extra raging.
That does hit though. So you miss with the first one, and then like it like kind of like looks at you for a second, and like it doesn't laugh, but it like rasps at you, and you come up with your hammer afterwards and just clean knock the helmet off into the ground, into the sky as it bursts into ash, and it drops to the ground, dead. That would bring it to Carrick's turn. All that's left is one little ashen guy fighting over there. Actually, we won't even say this. At this point, you see Zorka run around and is going to take a shot with his shotgun. He had been like handling a different group that you guys couldn't quite see in a different part of the area. And takes his shot, gets an 18, and just blows this thing into the sky, just into ashes. So, and that will end combat.
So there's not even any more attacking the townspeople or anything?
It seems like the people that the guards have been able to like kind of mitigate things. Like you can go and start looking, but it looks like this was, things are at a rest here. There might be stuff going on out in the actual outskirts where there still are like buildings and tents in the outskirts of it. Not everything's in the outpost, but you can definitely or make a perception check since it is your turn. With the 14, you can kind of hear like the clanging, and that is kind of dying down, and it doesn't seem like the danger, at least for now, is averted.
Okay.
Good. While people are off, let's just get a quick snack.
You have so much music.
Just got an Xbox from Verizon. They like shipped it to me, just part of the sign up bonus. I'm so bad at it. I feel like I was like born like yesterday. Like I've never seen a video game console in my life. Just wanted to commiserate, lament my lack of being able to play video games. It's I'm ashamed of myself. Tried to play like 3 different games and like fell off a horse and then shot every person on my team with every single thing. So.
What game was this?
I got Red Dead Redemption.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't even. It took me 5 minutes to get up onto a horse. As I got Insurgency, who killed every member of my team, and then got shot in the face by the other team. And then what else? Then I think another one. I just didn't realize it takes 2 hours to download a game, and sat on my couch for 45 minutes trying to download it. So I'm just feeling particularly Octarian these days.
That's funny. Man. I was playing Resident Evil 4 last night because I had to stay up until midnight for us to roll over to actual enrollment. And then I had to work at midnight because we had a bad value. Man. But I'm glad I stayed up until midnight.
Open
Sounds like
enrollment
the
on a
thing you-
Sunday.
What?
Open enrollment on a Sunday.
Yep. So I just sat awake, and then I had to change a webpack value from 23 to 24. It's like the one thing that's not dynamic anymore, or yet. I was mad.
It's like playing Resident Evil to midnight means you're not going to sleep at 12:30.
Yep. Okay. So last night after the football game, we had our friends come over, and they're like, "Oh yeah, we'll get pizza." And their go-to pizza place is Papa John's. Papa John's is the worst. It is the worst of the pizzas.
I think Pizza Hut takes that. I would take Papa John's over Pizza Hut.
I think you're right. No, you know what's good now? Little Caesars. Little Caesars rules. It is so much better than it used to be, and you walk in and walk out and you're like, wow, I spent $10, got 2 pizzas, and was in there for 30 seconds. So
It's awesome.
But that's my opinion. So, but Papa John's garlic dipping sauce is the best of the garlic dipping sauces. So there is that. Yeah, so things are dying down now. Zorka kind of like looks down at the 3 dead people, like 2 of his guys, one of the glass blades, and just kind of like shakes his head. It's like, son of a fucking bitch, and comes and walks over to you. He's like, well, it seems you showed up right on time if you want some work. I know it's late, I know it's that, but we've never been able to really like pinpoint where these things are coming from. So I don't know how much time we have to figure it out. So I'll come with you. I'll round up some people and we can go kind of hunt, see if we can find the place. And you had done that perception check earlier. You know that it's like out to the west, which also like part of the wall is kind of like singed and burned. He's like, I guess I gotta get people on that because Clive will just, complain that he's not that the walls aren't good. So let me take care of that. You guys kind of patch yourself up, and I'll round up some people, and we can get going. So.
What was the skeevy dude's name?
Clive
Knoxley.
It's yours.
I wonder if Clive might want to come with us and participate in this adventure.
Yeah, maybe show a little bit of leadership.
Yeah.
Yeah, so while you guys you can take a short rest as you want, like kind of Zorka's definitely gonna go out there with you and like hunt, but he's like, hey, we just need to patch up, like get these dead people off the streets, get the wall just a little patched up. So like maybe just meet me back at the bar in an hour, get patched up and whatever you need, and it's gonna be a long night, fellas.
Do I get any like indication of these Ashen people and anything that might have to do with my patron?
Make a what kind of check would this be? Make in some sort of intelligence-based roll. If you're proficient in something intelligence-wise, that would make sense. You can. Otherwise,
I mean, the only thing I have a proficiency is investigation. And
yeah, I don't think
that makes
that's
sense.
Investigation. This would be. I would say it's more of an insight thing, but I'll let you use. You're smarter than you are wise, so I'll let you.
All right. Why don't I just do a straight intelligence check then?
Yeah, just do a straight intelligence check. 21.
I guess I'm basically trying to see if I think that taking care of this will grant me favor.
I'm very putting two and two together. You're being pulled this way, and you actually still even now as you take a second to think about it, the pull that you're having is taking you directly, that little chain on the neck is dragging you to where that plume of ash is going. So this is definitely you're in the right spot. You're in that. You don't quite know what that means right now. Is it take care of this? Is it to retrieve something? Is it that? But you're definitely heading in the right spot. And, regardless of if you guys could just fucking bail and not do this, you kind of feel you have to. You know that leaving here would probably be less good for you. So, yeah, what do you guys want to do? You have about an hour to yourselves. You can take a short rest. You can go talk with people if you don't need to rest. Sounds like Carrick wants to go talk to Clive.
Yeah.
I'll go with him. I'm out of hit dice, so.
You're out of hit dice?
Yep. I mean, I died last time, so. I died recently, and the time before that, and the time before that, so. I'm just having a little existential crisis here.
You've been having a rough go. After 2 years of never knocking you guys out, I've knocked people out in every single game.
I like bullshit too.
Yeah, I mean the Banshee thing. It was a DC 10, and you got failed.
And I got a actual belt to raise my thing.
Yeah.
To 20 to +5. Yeah, and I still failed. So. Yep.
Yeah.
Some bullshit.
Yeah, so you can go up. You guys can all go up. As you enter the building to go kind of sit down, you see Chonk had turned over a table and had the place kind of defended, ready to if something comes in to go to town. But he's like, well, it looks like you guys did what you've done every time I've been around you and took care of business. So now I feel silly. I'm gonna go clean this up, and starts putting the tables back, and like you see like he pulls the table over, there's like 6 knives just stuck into the ground that he was going to throw, and just like puts a Vugs is just behind the bar, like, and then just like goes out and starts cleaning things. Like it's like, huh, another day. Yeah, and yeah, you can see like what's his name? Kraglin had like a little pistol that he's putting back into his hip. And then there's 2 Jakes. Oh, now there's only one.
I missed the last minute and a half because my thing froze up.
Oh no, you guys were just going in there, and it was just kind of flavor. And so yeah, people are cleaning up, and you can see like opening up the door up top. Clive like sneaks his head out, and he goes, "Aha! See, you guys could be very good here, and you can help me get out of here. I very well managed that situation, didn't I?"
Thanks a hunter.
I think it presents an opportunity for you to show your leadership. I think you should join us.
Reminds me of a song, and I'm gonna pipes a haunting him.
You play your pipes of haunting at him to scare him into joining you on this.
We're just gonna gaslight him into this is like a cool little like leadership song. Right?
Okay, what's the save for that?
What is that?
The pipes of gaslighting.
The pipes of gaslighting.
DC 15 wisdom.
So scared of being here that wants to go. Sorry, what?
DC 15 wisdom.
Okay, he does not make it. He has no stat block, but he rolled a 10, and I'm going to say he has at least a -1 to wisdom. This guy is not self-aware.
Frightened for 1 minute. Frightened of me for 1 minute. So I guess
okay. He goes like, oh. And I will say this, because he's frightened of you, you guys can intimidate him into coming here with advantage.
Can I intimidate him for Carrick to take over? Like, he has something to say to you.
Yeah, so Carrick still has to make the roll because he was the initiator.
Sure,
but
I'm still going to intimidate him. I'm going to be the enforcer here. Yeah.
You now have advantage to intimidate him to come with you.
You
guys know that if this guy comes with you, he's dead, right?
That's his problem. So I roll with advantage. Is that what I'm doing?
Yeah, no, Christopher, I will use. Well, no, I was gonna say it's Carrick is the one that has to make the roll because he did. Okay. You gave him advantage.
It would be a shame if he was, his dying breath to us was take everything from my vault, but he didn't come back with us.
Okay, he is going to make a wisdom saving throw. He said canonically he has a -1. Ah, dang it.
What do you get?
He got the 19 -1.
Oh, man.
He was scared, and then he realized, like, I'm scared of everything. I should probably just fucking leave.
He's immune to frightened.
He's immune to being frightened. Oh, no, I'll give him disadvantage because he's afraid. That makes sense. I want this to work, but...
I could swoop in with the good cop.
Yeah, that was the opposite of what he rolled before, and that's a 4. He goes, oh, yeah, see, I guess it is kind of dangerous to stay here, so maybe coming with you, and you can protect me, and I can, then even if you aren't helping me, I can still take the credits, because I went on the adventure too. So smart. I'm not paying you double for this, but
Oh, we don't need your money, but we are helping you out by allowing you to join us.
you
Think of it
are.
as two birds with one stone.
Yes, yes, yes. Well, let me get my adventuring gear on.
What do you?
That
What do you?
feels-
What's your loadout?
He's
Sal
like,
feels so conflicted because this is like such like an awful thing, but he's seen enough like deserter type on the front lines like get people killed that he's just like, well, this guy dies, I guess he dies.
if this guy dies, then Zorka's in charge completely.
I'm gonna throw a hand axe right against next to his head to like,
Make the
hey,
shack
looks like
fall.
you need a strength, right?
I don't know
Just
what a hand axe.
straight.
Is this like a
Just don't roll a 1. If you critically fail, you're just gonna murder this guy in this bar.
100% he's dead if you roll a 1.
is this an athletics?
And then we're on
maybe?
the run.
It sounds like athletics sort of thing.
No, it is.
Just
you have a
straight
hand
up
axe.
strength.
You should be able to
Oh yeah, just a,
roll the attack roll on. Just click the
Yeah.
hand axe.
okay. Here we go. Reckless. Can I recklessly not try and murder somebody?
You can only reckless
yes.
melee
but
attack. You can't
uh,
recklessly throw something.
I would have been disappointed if that was the case. That I could do that.
It's kind of like when we said, I'm going to
All
recklessly
right.
shoot my gun.
All right. 20.
Yeah, you're all good. There's no damage.
Yes.
Canonically,
Stunk up right against
only
his,
way
like,
reckless gun shooting makes sense is if it was like a fully automatic like saw machine gun.
I'm thinking of it like you just
But
show
not a
up,
musket.
like standing there in the middle of nowhere, like just in the middle of the field, like aiming with.
I'm going to recklessly shoot into the distance and hope it hits something.
That's it. Yeah. Anyways, yeah, 20.
Okay, yeah, you are all good, guys. If you murdered this dude by a joke that you said, it would have been pretty good.
It would have been.
But it flicks and it thunks into the door, and he's like, "Oh, well, thank you. I'll take this." And he tries to pull it out, and it takes a while. So yeah, so
Okay.
Clive is gonna go get his loadout all done, and yeah, there's you guys can just you can take a short rest, so you can use your arcane recovery if you still have it. Ryan or Carrick, anyone can use hit dice if they have any left. You could take some potions, you can do that, get ready, but you guys are definitely going out tonight. So heal up.
Does the whole healing hands work with Bell?
Oh yeah, and Fel can heal people with his lay on hands as well.
I got a couple knots in my back. You know,
Could do a prayer of healing.
so-
We wanted to
Oh,
try
yeah,
that
you could-
first.
Yeah, you could use a spell to do a prayer of healing as well. That might be.
Okay, let's try that first. And then just click it.
Felix out here just never getting hit.
Look, I can't really hit, so I gotta try not to get hit as well.
Yeah.
16
All I got
total.
going for me sometimes.
16
Yeah.
total healing for you guys.
Yeah.
I did the higher spell slot and it only gave me 1 out of a whole D8. Love
Yeah.
that.
So but hey, the 15 is pretty good. That's a 5 and a 6, or 5 and a 4 plus 3. Pretty good.
Yeah. So everybody
Or an
now
8 and a 4.
16 health.
Yeah. So what's everyone here? I can just press it. What's everyone sitting at?
Well, now I'm going to be max.
I don't know if you guys can see it when I click this, but oh. So Christopher's the only person still down.
Need 16 if there's easy.
If there's an easy 16 from anybody.
But
you must have
I mean,
rolled-
80 is still pretty good.
You must have rolled really bad on your hit dice.
No, I mean, I had to get 96 points.
Yeah.
That
true,
was
yeah.
all the way down. So yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
It's like, yeah.
Cool. Yeah, so you guys take your rest, and towards the end of it, Carrick does, or not Carrick, but Fell does this prayer that you've never heard. He just kind of like sits there and like mutters, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh, I feel so good. Like just like weird things that have never happened in the game. So you all are sitting there. Clive comes down. Kraglin comes and just gives you guys some drinks. And thanks for that. Or oh shit, what's his voice? Thanks. Nope. I'm not gonna do his voice. He just says thank you and gives you a drink and some food. And sounds like you're going out, and you probably should eat up. Yeah. So Clive comes down. Clive has a giant backpack on. Is wearing like, I don't know why I think of him wearing like lederhosen, like about to go on a backpacking adventure in like 17th
Tech bro
century
ready to go on a
Germany.
hike.
Yes, he looks like he's going on a nice fall hike. He has like a pan hanging from the backpack, and he like has that axe, and he like has stuffed it like in his belt loop, and it's like, well, I'm ready. This is going to be good, isn't it? And at least I get out of this shithole for a bit. Maybe wherever that ash is coming is going to be fun and great.
It's gonna end up
Definitely
saving
going to make a
Russ's-
name for yourself.
Yeah.
Thank you all.
It's gonna end up being the difference between. He's gonna like end up saving us. And then everything.
Yes, he is going to be the reason that you survived. I have to get a charger.
Or he's 100% gonna be the reason like 4 of us die. Yeah, 3 of us die.
That's also possible.
So it's funny talking about like how long it took until I started knocking you guys out all the time. In the game that I'm playing with Ryan and his work friends, if the turn order was any different, my character was dead. 100%, 0% chance of survival, dead.
And at least 1 to 2 people have gone unconscious every single session.
It is fucking brutal. But I also did 42 damage as a level 2 character.
Yes.
So that was cool.
If it wasn't for that, we were doing shit.
But anyways, just funny. Death House. No,
Death House.
absolutely no way you can make it through it without changing things.
It's
0%.
ridiculous. Yeah.
Okie doke. So, yep, Clive has come down, is ready to go, and at this point, you just see a totally haggard, like kind of like some soot, like a little burn mark on him. Zorka come in and he's like, well, got everything patched up as well as we can. You guys ready to go? We're running on fumes, but you gotta figure this out. I got about 15 guys out there between some of our better men and good those good few that I like from the Glass Blade. We can go out there and kind of set up set up a search for wherever these things are coming. You know, maybe fan out a little bit and do that. Yeah, we'll get some lanterns going. Just make sure we stay close enough to yell in case we find wherever the pit or whatever this is coming from. So, you guys all ready? And he takes out a little like snuff box and puts something on his thumb and like snorts it. He's like, "Okay, I am now. Let's go."
Can I get some of that?
Can I get some of that? Says, oh, fuck, sure. Gives you some snuff powder, some cocaine. He takes just a tiny little bump.
Oh yeah.
How many drugs has Felix done in his life? How many drugs? How many drugs?
He did the one drug the one time.
Oh, yes, the one that fucked you guys all up.
Yeah.
Okay, then
I think that's like the extent.
I will say this: you need to make a Constitution saving throw.
Constitution. Oops. All right, take the first. Oh boy,
No.
that's a 5.
You are poisoned for the next hour. You are considered poisoned for the next hour. You have disadvantage on ability checks and attack rolls because you just took like a little too much. Like you put it on your pinky like he did, but it's your pinky that you can't feel with, so you didn't realize how much you put on. And so you're just not in a good spot. Felix, I feel like normally you would say like you have to get new dice, but how do you get new dice on a digital dice roller?
I could roll some dice here at home.
Maybe you should just start rolling.
I don't know if that will be any better. I can start. I'll try for the rest of the.
Try for the rest because it's getting upsetting at this point.
Wow.
So. You guys start heading out into the woods. The plume of, or let's see. Okay. Everything that I wrote about what was supposed to happen after that fight has changed because of how you guys interacted with Clive. And all for the better. Better than what I came up with at 11 o'clock last night. So you guys start walking out to the west. So you go through that main gate that you had entered. Like you said, you have about 15 people with torches, and everyone's a little leery because this isn't a safe place to begin with. Like you guys have been here. There's teeth in the ground. There's monsters around every corner. So they're like, we're going to fan out as much as we can to hopefully let these, like, obviously much better than us adventurers maybe figure something out. But everyone's quite timid about being outside of the gates or outside of a house at this time. So you're going through, and it is the woods are just as weird and creepy. Luckily, there's a full moon, so you can see relatively good but it's still like the trees all cast shadows that are backwards and things like that. And it's almost gotten like, as you come to this part where you are getting closer to the ruins that they talk about, like things are just progressively weirder as you have moved into this part of the woods. Like compared to like what you had seen back down in back when you were hunting with Jagoda, here it is just less like, maybe like not scary, but just your brain has like a hard time comprehending what is happening there. Like you see like a bug walking across a tree, and then all of a sudden it's on the other side of the tree, even though it's walking in the same straight line. So just weird things like that. But you guys head out, and you're following that same plume, and Clive goes like, I've never seen this plume of ash before. I bet that is where we are headed. Come, friends. And he does that, but he's standing behind all of you, and he's like going in his little yellow lederhosen. And this is a dwarf too, so it's even weirder looking. And you guys continue and make a just a general survival check to see how things go, or whoever wants to lead. They can have advantage because Zorka's helping. He kind of knows the area, so whoever wants to help Zorka out, make a survival roll. Probably Christopher. He's made every other survival roll. That's a natural 20, of course. Yeah, so you guys are going through these woods, and like you guys have actually spent quite a bit of time in these woods, so like the weirdness doesn't really distract you, and because you just kind of like pick up some of the ash and throw it into the air, and you see like as you throw it into the air, it's like almost getting sucked into a direction. Like it's almost like returning where it's coming from. And so you guys get out there, in about a quarter mile, like maybe a quarter to a half mile out of camp, you see just these piles of ash everywhere. And then it's dark and everything is pretty pitch black in these woods. But as the torches are held up, you see just standing in the middle of like a little clearing of trees, a light is going around it. No light is going through it. There's just a black like circle in the middle of these walls. So like, and coming out of that is this plume of ash. You can't see anything through it, but like, and even like going around it is just a completely flat circle in the middle of a clearing. And so, yeah, you've kind of found probably where you think this ash is coming from. It's spewing out of a completely black portal. Zorka kind of grabs Thel and you, Christopher, and say like, "Hey, will you just help me like do a quick perimeter around here, and we can like call the other people in and grab them." And Clive is talking to you, Carrick, just prattling on, just talking like
nothing
like...
is funnier to me in this moment than Carrick, who hates socialization, being talked to by this dweeb this entire time.
Yes,
that just tickles me in a way that is like, that is so funny.
Yes, I believe there's some magic here. You look like you do some magic. I saw that book on your hip.
Yes.
So while these guys are all doing that, Felix, you notice standing next to the portal is a figure that you haven't seen in a month or two. So, PJ's gone. Yeah, it's this tall, like purple skin, long fingers, like black-haired figure standing there against the portal, just kind of foot across, like truly leaning against the portal. And you walk around the portal, it's completely flat, but they're like leaning against like a solid object, and just goes and just kind of gives you a thumbs up and beckons you over. No one else sees this figure, even if you were looking. You just watch Felix just probably walks over to the portal. Are you trying to be like sneaky and just like I'm looking at it, or?
No, I think I am. I mean, I don't think I let on that I see this, but I definitely get close to the portal and I'm gonna stick my hand in the portal.
Yeah, make a deception check just so people like to see that you aren't like doing it for any other reason out of curiosity.
Okay, well, let's go ahead and roll a real dice and see what happens. 16 plus 9 is 25.
Yep, you're all good. You are surreptitiously walk up there. Before you put your hand in, Nintra like grabs your hand and says, Oh, not quite yet. But thanks so much for coming. No clue what this being's voice was. I should just just have a list of what voices are, even though I could only do a gruff man's voice or this dweeb's voice or kobold's voice. Everyone has had a gruff accent. It's kind of like people always joke that Matthew Mercer, if it is a dwarf, it is Scottish, no matter what.
Fair.
Yeah, easy enough. I don't have a Scottish accent. I could do my Obama accent.
Your Obama accent.
My Obama impression. Felix, Carrick, we're going out into the woods. That's all I got.
That's good.
That was the
That's
other.
good.
That was the other make some noise. The Donald Trump as Sauron got me.
That's so funny.
So bad. So bad. These little freaks. But Ninja says thank you so much for coming. This is just the first of many requests, but if you do well, maybe the next won't be for a bit. And I just want something unique and strange through whatever's through that portal. It just, that's leading somewhere that I've never been, and just I want you to bring me something back nice. The
what
more
do you
unique,
consider nice?
I don't know, probably something of the magic that's there, something that I don't know what's creating this ash. It doesn't have to be. I don't want you to damage anything in there for it, but just find something nice and what you think is. I'll leave it up to you and your reward. Regardless, you bring me back anything. You bring me back anything, and we'll consider this little deed done. But who knows? You could get a little something extra if it's something truly special, something that tickles my fancy, something that could help us understand this world and how to go in between it.
I don't know what's going on, but this just sounds like trying to buy something at the airport for somebody you don't really know that much about. Like, yeah, sure.
Major Cave of Wonder vibes.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just give me something. I'll leave it up to you. You can be as simple as a sword that I can kind of listen to, and maybe your next request will be sooner if it's not that nice. But yeah, just so you know, this what I do know about this, I can't walk through it, of course, because I'm barely real. But this will take you somewhere that's not here. So be careful over there. If you die there, you die in real life.
If I die in real life, I die in real life.
Yeah. I guess what I should say is no one will be there to bring you back home to your family. So much like your friends not being at home anymore, this is kind of that sort of thing. So good luck. And then in like a wisp of smoke, just so yeah, you are all standing in that. You guys all kind of reconvene Clive at Carrick's hip and just, well, who's going first?
I think Felix is gonna look at the group and he's gonna give them this like speech saying like, I don't know if we should do this. I don't know if I can put the rest of you at risk, because if we die, we die. And there's no coming back.
Don't worry, I got some animal cruelty to do. I'll just throw in a bag of tricks. Let's see what happens. I'm just gonna tie a rope to a bag of tricks, throw it in, pull it back out.
I like that Felix like trying to give this like heart like, hey man, you guys have done a lot for me. This one seems a little fucking sketchy. He's like, I got a bag of tricks. Throw some animal in it.
Yeah, I can. I love this. I can throw something 20 feet, which might be a giant elk. So I'm gonna. Whether
So yeah,
this has any.
Field gives you guys this warning. I mean, if anyone wants to roll an insight check on that, about like if he's just talking, or because people know that he can do like these weird magic things now, but no one truly knows. Like, or Carrick knows about the chains thing and that, but doesn't care that much. It's just like, hey, that's something. But other people can kind of like roll an insight check because it seems Felix is a little put off by having to do this very dangerous thing for someone that says, just bring me back a sword. That will be enough. Not to put words in Felix's mouth, but that's what it seems like.
Insight. Yeah.
Yeah, you can roll a deception, or if you just want to be totally forthright, they can you guys can definitely read something, maybe a bit more is going on, and you can press on it, or you can try to roll deception to.
I'm not gonna try and deceive them. I think Felix is he's concerned about his friends, who he's made, and these are people he actually trusts, who he never would have trusted, earlier in his life. So being very forthcoming that this is going to be very potentially dangerous, and no coming back if we die.
I got yelled at by a ghost and died, so what else?
All right.
You do that. You have your heart to heart, and it's just these guys are just some ride or die homies.
All right, then I'm gonna walk through the portal.
Okay, you go forward and lead, and you watch Felix walk through it, and it just like walking through a doorway, except for the moment that it's like left foot as it swings through it at the very last, it's just gone. Who goes next?
And I just put my bag of tricks back in my pocket dejectedly and walk through.
Yeah. You walk through, and it's just same thing. It's as if someone just walked through a doorway and disappeared.
Is there a limit to how many things I can pull out of the bag of tricks?
It's a certain number a day.
It doesn't say that anywhere.
I think
it has to be, or else I could just be like throwing animals down a cliff to just like tumble and die. I could make like an avalanche of like animal corpses.
Yeah, hold on real quick.
Eric's been awfully quiet about going through this door. So I'm kind of eyeing him since those two have got through.
Oh, also to be clear, I was talking to the four daddies, and I was not talking to.
You said go away, Clive.
Yeah, Clive. And I feel like Zorka kind of doesn't really care.
Mm-hmm.
Clyde Exchange says 10 creatures each week, which is probably more than we've probably extended that.
So you really
you've never gotten close to 10.
You could yeet 10 at once at this point if you really wanted to.
They have to die, right? Like I have to wait for one to just like meet its impending doom.
So the gray bag of tricks I feel is the best. No, the tan bag of tricks. You can get a tiger, a giant hyena, a giant weasel, a black bear, a baboon, an ape, or a jackal.
What's an axe beak?
An axe beak is like a bird with an axe-shaped beak that is used in the tundra. If you guys had been in Icewind Dale longer, you would have probably ridden them. So, anyways, you guys all go through. Who shoves Clive through?
I tell Clyde he's next.
Okay. Clyde goes, well, So he is starting to waver at this point because people just walked into an inky black portal.
And I just grab him by the collar and throw him in.
Make a strength check to see how you oppose strength checks. He has a -1.
Does Clive just have a -1 to everything?
Pretty much. He has a -2 to charisma.
Oh, that was a save. Hold on.
He is dexterous as
Yeah,
fuck.
it's athletics check. Sorry. So you should add something
okay.
more to that. Yep, he got a 5. So you throw him through, and as the other people like coolly walk through like into this cool thing, he just goes ah, and just stumbles and trips through the portal. And then the other two of you just follow him.
Yeah.
Yeah, you follow up behind him. You guys all, Felix, you first, and it didn't take very long for everyone else to go through. You immediately enter into a lush green forest, like pristine. There is like the sky is kind of weird. It's kind of like this reddish sky, but the canopy is kind of blocking what could be creating that reddish sky. But the trees around you, like comparing it to where you just were, are completely different. They're like, this looks like a natural forest that's been manicured and upkept by druids, like picturesque, essentially. It's like you hear a little babbling brook going by, and like just it sounds so nice, like almost out of a fairy tale. And then it's completely ruined by Clive falling through going, ah! and hitting the ground as the other two of you walk through, and you pick him up, and he goes, must have tripped on something. So it's like, well, we're not dead. This place looks nice. Maybe I set up shop here. But you do see, like, you can see like ash kind of filtering in through, and there's that same black portal right behind you. But yeah, you guys are just in the middle of this beautiful, picturesque forest. And you can see the ash like kind of like drifting down, getting sucked in. What do you do?
A quick nature check for any exotic ingredients.
Yeah, make a nature check.
Yeah.
Okay, 21. The only thing that I could think that you would find would be mushrooms, but yeah, on the trees there are these big red cap or orange cap mushrooms that you kind of shave off, and like you taste it enough and like know like there's definitely not poison in that. So you have these tree mushrooms, and since you got a 21, you also find like you're just curious, and like there's this moss covering some rocks. You find that little babbling brook, and you scrape off some of the moss and just like taste it for a second, and it tastes like licorice. So it's like an edible licorice moss.
All right, really
So
well
you take, like you're able to scrape off probably like a good like quarter cup of licorice moss.
All right.
That's what I can come up with because you aren't in a farm. Yeah, so you do that and just kind of getting your bearings. Oh, by the way, it is like the sky is red, but it definitely feels like it's middle of daytime. Like just by general like warmth in the air. Like you've gone from like a pretty like wintry, foresty climate to something that feels like late summer, 73 degrees, like just perfect down, like high tree line area, like classic, like Scandinavian, or not Scandinavian, but Germanic, all that area where we think of mountains and castles. Fairy tale land. Yeah. You guys can continue going through the woods or stop, or what do you guys want to do? Forage for more food.
Are we? Do we have any sense of like where we're going in here? I guess I reach out to Felix, since I get the vibe that he has a better feel for what's going on here.
I don't know what I'm looking for at this point. I'm just looking for something. What did you said something about? I didn't quite catch something about the smoke in here.
Oh, there's little trails of the ash that are getting sucked in through that portal.
Oh, okay.
So like you could follow that. Like it is enough to where you could like pick it out and see like, oh, where's the ash coming from? You could also like there's also the brook. You can follow the river to say like, hey, normally rivers lead to something. There's a few directions you could go.
Yeah, I mean, we could follow the river. We could try and find our way to where the ash is coming from. I think if we're out to help Zorka, we might want to try and make our way to the ash.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, and that's easy enough to follow. Make it's a survival check really, but people can make a perception check just being able to follow it. It's probably mostly a survival thing, but seems like Chris is off for a second, so if someone else wants to roll something.
I'll roll perception.
I could do perception or survival. Okay, 12. So it's taking a while, like the plume, like you lose it in parts, but you are like heading in a general like you completely lose it, so you head in a northern direction. So you probably aren't going the optimal route of following this, especially because these are woods that you don't know. But you guys walk for about an hour. Yeah, you're not poisoned anymore, by the way, Felix. You're just feeling a little lightheaded. So yeah, you guys keep walking, and but it takes a lot longer than you think it's going to, which is a little scary because what Zorka said is like you don't know how often those portals open and close. They say that they aren't there all the time. Like the ash will come, and then it might be a week, and then it comes again. So you don't know how long you technically have here before maybe being stuck or maybe having to find a different portal and things like that, and even where the portal will drop you off. Like you could end up, in the middle of those ruins with the Wolf King. But you guys start going, and you eventually start, like, the trees start thinning, and you can tell you're going downhill, and you're like, okay, we're gonna get to a valley. And as you come through the trees, you see you see the most picturesque, like, valley coming down with, like, some small cottages and, like, farmland and a winding road going straight through it from east to west. You're kind of coming in from what you would say is the south. The only and in the middle center of this valley, just a perfect castle. It would be perfect if there wasn't a giant tear in the sky black orb that is slowly but surely sucking every part of that castle up. You see a castle that, if put together, would be huge and wonderful, but there's just parts of it floating away from it, just being slowly pulled to this center chasm. Now you can see what created the red sky. It's just this, like, vortex of purples and reds ripping everything into the sky. And as you see, like towards the top, as things get close to that vortex, they turn to ash and just start floating down. And that's around that castle is a town that's just gray and black, just almost like the color is completely sucked out of it. It's like goes from this picturesque, like literally a storybook land, to just sad, depressed grayness, blackness being ripped up into the sky. Everyone roll a perception check. Oh, I guess I'll roll one for Clive too. I don't think Clive can get this without getting a natural 20. Nope, he doesn't get it. So, Carrick, you're the first person, like, I may says you're in the back as normal. You turn around just in time to watch this flaming sword slice down, cutting one of those ashen warriors that you had seen before, and standing behind them is this strong female dwarf holding her sword and her shield, having just dispatched this ashen warrior that was about to strike you from behind. And this figure says, "Heroes, you must have gotten my message. I am Navis." Navis? Yeah, I am Navis, and we must get to shelter. And then runs off ahead of you and beckons you to follow. Like, just starts running off.
Seems trustworthy.
I take off after her.
Okay. You guys take off after it, and you see like one of those cottages. And as you get closer, like it looks so picturesque from a distance, but as you get to it, you see that's like kind of dilapidated and not looking good. But from the outside, it doesn't look great. You get to the farmhouse, and she's like, "Please come in before more of the guards come." I can explain from there.
All right. I walk in,
Taking Clive with me.
Okay, everyone can walk in. Yeah, and you know, like from here, you're a bit closer to where like that ash line starts, and you can like kind of see just in the distance, like there's definite movement in the city, and it seems like maybe that's what this Nairus is afraid of. So yeah, you enter there. She closes the door and goes, "Praise the gods that you've made it. I do not think my missives got to anybody out in the east or west. The cities did not seem to think that our problem was hard. Waterdeep was too busy counting their gold. Neverwinter was too busy being Neverwinter, I guess. But at least you came. Where do you hail from?"
We are heroes from another plane of existence, led by Clive.
Yes. It is me, Clive Noxley. I run an outpost. Everyone make an intelligence check. The dice aren't helping anymore. Carrick, as you hear this and like these names of these towns, and this, like, you've read quite a few books. This is sounding eerily familiar to a fairy tale you read as a kid, of this picturesque town being beset by an orb in the sky, of like ripping itself into into being destroyed by an evil witch that has corrupted the king, and only with the king's release of whatever is holding him can the town come back to life and the beautiful princess come one day. Not beautiful princess, but that just like fairy tale that you read as a young Yeti child.
Yeah.
Which is just still a funny thing that has no bearing on anything.
I know, like never came into play, but is hilarious.
Oh, it did come into play the one time you were gone.
Oh, that sucks.
Because you could have spoken Yeti to these Yetis.
Uh-huh.
But anyways, yeah.
Anyway.
So, maybe not share that immediately, but yeah, this sounds like a fairy tale you read as a kid. Like maybe it isn't, but eerily familiar. Okay. And then my actual note is Naris does exposition. Yeah, praise the gods, you came. Mrs. Mutz has reached our allies in time. Welcome to Galcine, once the most beautiful city for miles, but now I get to read from a book. Okay, so this is what the city looks like. So, just castle raising into the air. So, my city and my king is in trouble, Nair says. It deteriorates with every passing second, and my king is part of it. Or rather, his stolen heart is. Galcine is slowly being reduced to ash, and its people are dying and can't escape. King Jaros would do anything in his power to stop it if he could. I've served Jaros since I was a young squire. His father denied me knighthood. Our family was poor, and I had no formal training. But Jaros made me his personal knight. That was the start of our friendship. He isn't just kind, he's warm and passionate, ever invested in the people of the city. A mages guild in the neighboring city used scrying spells to confirm my suspicion that one of the king's closest advisors, Charmaine Daymore, is behind this. She has stolen the king's heart and is using it to power a ritual. Jaros is now her obedient puppet. I need help. You see, I cannot enter the city. All that are of Galcine have been barred if they are not already trapped inside its walls. Can you help me, dear heroes?
I think Felix looks at Clive.
Clive goes, well, that's Locke. But yes, I think we can help you, as long as you give me some recognition afterwards.
A credit.
If you can send us home with some sort of triumph and notoriety, me and my band of heroes will see this done.
The daddies.
Clive and the daddies.
Clive
and
and the
the daddies.
Let's see. So after you guys accept, Nair says like, so as I said, the people of Galcine cannot enter there, so I am barred from ever stepping foot until this curse is lifted. I assure you that the ritual only affects us. You should have safe passage. The wizards told me as much, that I must find heroes of different lands to come and save ours, perhaps to broker a future treaty. Yes, Galcine, at its best, is a great place that has much to offer others in goods and services. To ask the characters to steal Jaros's heart. It has been turned into some sort of mockery of itself, and if it can be returned outside of its walls to one of its loved people, perhaps it will break the curse. At least that is what the mages said.
Jaros's heart?
Yeah. So the king's heart specifically. There's a few bits of information I can also offer you that I've gleaned from scouting the area and speaking with the mages to the west. The castle is guarded by ashen creatures that used to be the king's guard. The king's dogs, Cinnabar and Soul, have become hellhounds, so be careful. There might be other dogs that spit that infernal flame as well. Charmaine spends most of his time in her time in the Mage Tower, so be careful. She is a wicked witch, but maybe keys to undoing this curse and finding my king's heart will be there. The spherical void that you see in the sky, be careful. It rips out the souls of the dead and traps them forever, and turning them into these ashen creatures. Most of the people in the city have already died. It is very unfortunate. There is a man in there that may be of some help. His name is Regine Laverne, a wizard of some sort that had come to visit when this evil curse beset us. According to the mages with whom I consulted, Charmaine's ritual can be reversed and Galcine restored to its former glory by removing Jaros' still beating heart from the city and returning it to a loved one, as I said earlier. This might be the only way to repair the damage Charmaine has wrought and restore the lives of those who died from the ritual. Simply destroying the heart could possibly end the ritual, but I do not know if it will return Galcine back to its former glory, or I will have to find a new home. What do you say, heroes? I've given you as much information as I care to before you accept this job and go without me to save my town. I take your silence as acceptance. Thank you, you noble heroes. You do not waste time with words. Here, let me draw you a map of the castle.
Okay, I was just about to ask, what's the best way to get into the city?
Okay, so first she pulls out this hand-drawn map of the city, or not of the city, but of the castle itself. Let me find it. Oh no. Where is it? I might not have imported it.
The overseer and the even higher realm has overlooked the navigation.
Yes. I'm having a hard time remembering exactly what was happening in the castle. Give me a second as I pull it from my brain and put it onto this parchment. That might not work. If not, I'll just give you a link to the picture. Nope, I just have to give you a link. There should be a handout, but I had to import things, so it didn't work correctly. Sounds like I can go to the bathroom.
we might have got more than what we were supposed to. That length. I think that might be the entire.
Yeah, it's like the whole thing.
I think that's what he's trying to give us.
I'll stick that.
I see.
I wish on the spell sheet there was a way to do different color checks in the little circles. Because I have so many spells I can prepare, but then my class also has certain ones that are always ready, and it would be nice to be able to check and different colors and then remember which ones are which, because I always have to remind myself. Wait, which ones are the ones I prepared and which ones are the ones that I get all the time again?
Yeah.
Trying to understand one of my level 3 spells that I've never used.
Which spell?
I'm pretty sure I can conjure 8 Velociraptor with my conjure animal. I'm pretty sure.
Yes, you can only do that like a couple times though, because you got that so.
Oh,
far
that's
back
right.
in the day.
Yes, that only had a
By
couple
those-
of expenditures, didn't it?
Yep. Yeah, because you got that when you were.
Or maybe I can only
When
use
you
it
found
once.
the
I
like
can't
the
remember.
little creature, and you gave it a fox. You remember this from 2.5 years ago?
Yeah, that little thing I saved. I remember.
The Chingwa was its name.
That's
Is
why.
this what you were trying to link, Scott?
Yeah.
You gave us the whole notes, so I think we
Yeah,
can
you
go
gave us
through.
the entire thing.
Oh, whoops!
Don't look.
5e tools. No clue how it's legal.
It's not.
Yeah.
Like, let's be real.
Yeah, I like it because like I own all these books, but sometimes like I don't have the book with me, so I can just use it.
Well,
It does
it's
crash
digital.
a lot though. So anyways, yeah, so Nairs gives you this map. So you can kind of like plot, and this is kind of, she says, getting into the city shouldn't be too hard. It is patrolled, obviously, but you being sneaky enough, you should be able to make it. There is possibly, I have not been in, obviously, because I am barred from entry from my sweet city, but it is possible that there is a sewer entrance that you could go down. Sneak down from underneath. I do not know, it may bring you into the kitchen, or perhaps the privy, maybe even the armory, because we did clean things and dispose things there. You might come out in one of those. You should know, though, as you can see, the castle might not look exactly like this because it has been floating in the sky. So things may be detached. Things may be harder to get to, but there's that possible that way of entry. There may yet still be people alive in the city. If you find them, you could possibly try to shuttle them out, and they might have information for you. If anywhere, they'd be probably holed up in one of the many great taverns of our city. Probably the Hole in the Harpy would be the most likely, as it was the best furnished. Probably the best, most able to weather the plights that we are under. You may also be able to loot some of the things from town. There may be helpful items or magics that you can find if you go into town and find the different stores. I have no clue what has been reduced to ash or what has not. But be careful as you're out there, because, as I said, there are patrols, and even if one finds you, you can be sure that the power of the remaining guard will come down upon you by that damn Charmaine controlling my dear city and my dear king. Thank you for your help, Clive and the daddies. Yeah, so this is kind of, at least how, I guess you could expect guards outside the main entrance as well as patrols circling the castle grounds. You can try to slip past the patrols, enter through a dining room window perhaps, once you get there, if you choose not to go through the sewers. On the west side of the ground floor, out of sight of the main entrance, but close to a staircase that climbs to the second floor, where you could perhaps then leap to the towers above. I have a bit more information for you as well. Once you're inside the castle, keep an eye out for a set of charcoal figurines. Charmaine created figurines of herself, and I'm told she uses them to store her victims' psychic trauma. A clever spellcaster can turn that power of these figures against her, I bet. I don't really understand how, but the mages that I worked with said it was possible. Guys, this adventure is just buck wild. It's like, I went to a wizard, they told me all of these things, but I can't do anything about it.
You've been told a lot of things by wizards.
It's just, I don't know, it's kind of funny. Like, having to work with things. I rewrote the whole, this is like a fairy tale that you got teleported into, because in no way does this actually work in the world that we are in. So, that is...
Picture Carrick just sitting here in, the corner of the bar. Yeah, sure. He's just trying to get out of the conversation. Yeah, look for, some dolls or shit. Sure, you'll figure it out. Leave me alone.
So as you guys look through the window, you see the Castle Senes. That's the name of the castle, Castle Senes. It is deteriorated to the extent that sections of it now float in the air. Ash and detritus rise toward the spherical black void that hovers high above the castle. The void itself seems to be pulling the castle apart. The castle groans in protest as stone grates against stone. And that's kind of the last of that transition point. So you guys are kind of left to your own planning devices, very similar to how you did for the other infiltration spec ops mission. Kind of, if you have other information that you want, Naris can give as much as you want as you plan to try to get into the castle and steal this heart.
Does she know what of any weaknesses of these Ashen monster guards?
Oh. Weaknesses, no. However, you see my sword, and she pulls out the sword that you saw for a second, and it like has a flicker of flame on it. Like, this, although a wonderful blade given to me by my sweet king, does not do as much as you think it would. Fire seems to either do nothing or at least be diminished.
Good to know. Okay, just before we take off, hey, Clive, you want to? Can he test your sword real quick?
What?
I want Clive to pick up the sword.
Like my sword?
No. Mavis, I want him to just pick up her sword.
We all have these magical weapons, and it seems unfair that you wouldn't
I
have
just want
one
to
as
say
well.
if you'd let him borrow it, if he can, you know.
Papa.
Yeah.
What are those and those?
She says, like, I do not know. Perhaps if it helps you, although the fire properties of this do not seem to affect the ashen creatures, it could still be a boon. If King Jero sees it, he knows that you will be sent by me. My king gave this to me, as I said. And she hands it. Someone's got to make a persuasion check to have this knight hand over their magic flaming sword.
I do not want her to give it. I want to embarrass what's his bucket. So because I don't think he can. I can almost guarantee he is not proficient in this type of weapon.
He is not.
I think it's funny.
He is going to make a deception check, Felix.
Okay.
And he will make an insight check.
Deception? My deception is 9.
You must beat a 4.
Okay, well, I got a 13 on the die.
Okay, so 22. He goes,
yes.
Yeah. Please, Naris, you give me that sword. I promise to take the best care of it. And she likes this. Show me that you know how to wield such a mighty weapon given to me by my king. He's like, yes, of course. And he picks it up and holds it and immediately puts his hand on the blade that is flaming, burns himself, and drops it on the ground. I forgot that it was hot.
Worth a shot.
And he picks it back up, and he is going to make... he did take 1 point of damage from that, so he is down to 4 hit points.
Yeah, shoot, I wasn't raging.
You could have raged and said, no! I will, that he's going to make a roll to take 1 swing. Please, I promise not to do, will do minimal damage. Which of you should I strike to show my prowess?
Yeah, sure, whatever.
No. I have fire,
resistance.
Yeah, I have fire resistance, so let me do it.
There's absolutely no way this guy hits.
Oh, no, I know.
That's why I almost pushed Carrick in front of.
Oh,
no way
Lord,
he hits
he got
anyway.
a 16.
My AC is 18.
Ah, son of a bitch. You are actually pretty surprised by this strike that he gives you, but it's still like you're able to back off, and you're like, you burnt your hand, but you did do a good swing. Naris goes, it seems as you are not worthy of this blade. If you cannot even hit this small man, and takes it. Guys, this story is just full of assholes. Yes, I'm more of a long range distance fighter, and he pulls out a slingshot.
I'm gonna grab Agatrix and to just have something to keep him occupied. Like,
Are you guys still gonna take this guy in?
Of
Oh, yeah.
course.
It literally is going to make everything harder.
I'm summoning something to jump in front
Should
of
we-
him if he gets
We have
attacked.
him sign something that we can then fill in later and say, hey, it's okay to open my vault.
Absolutely no way.
Not write that part in, just have him sign like randomly on a piece of paper and then fill it in later.
You can do a check of some sort to like write up a contract about what you are deciding to do. This guy loves paperwork. Do you want to do that?
I'm trying to think of how it would come up in normal conversation.
Yeah, you guys are in full planning mode right now. So I kind of like we're taking a beat. You don't get a long rest, but you are like taking a beat to like plan like how you want to go about this heist.
I want to start speaking. Like, I'm gonna kind of. I'm getting a vibe from you. You know, we've become Clive and the Daddies, and I think your spirit animal is coming out. I'm gonna start just like speaking Abyssal, and just pull out a great bag of tricks. Like,
Right.
you're summoning something from the ether here.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens.
Like maybe I painted Clive as like too much of an idiot. He is very good at a certain thing. He is very good at paperwork, and like think of the guy in Office Space in the basement.
Milton. Yeah.
Milton, very good at good at what he is good at, but he's bad at everything else.
Well, he's got a boar that's gonna jump in front of stuff for him. Yeah, so.
Oh, a boar, a strong animal, and if it dies, good eating too.
That's right.
Okay, so Clive and his boar, and the daddies.
The boar's only objective is to jump in front of, like, and dive in front of anything.
You tell the boar that, and the boar goes. just a defeated shrug.
You can go back to sleep if you save this asshole.
Okay. Yeah. So kind of the whole gist of the heist, if just because I was doing it in colorful language, is they think that you have to get Jaros's heart out of Gelsine, out of the city, to the hands of one of its people. The heart, you assume, would be on the guy. There's no clue about that. The guy is normally at the top in his chambers. There's also the evil mage Charmaine, who could be anywhere amongst the towers. There's guards probably everywhere. There's some dogs that breathe fire. And there's also these statues that may be of use in combating whatever's in there that Charmaine had made.
There's a witch too.
Yeah, Charmaine's the witch.
Oh, she's the witch.
Yeah.
Wait, who's the head of everything?
Oh no. There's also the
wicked
wizard.
witch.
There's the wizard that was there that no one knows what happened to. He's just like the one person that wouldn't be guard or servant. There would be this wizard that might have been able to survive because they're a wizard. But bad guy is Charmaine.
There wasn't a wicked witch that was separate.
No.
Okay.
There might have been. It is fairy tale land. There might be a witch somewhere in these woods. If you guys want to go search for a witch in these woods, you can. Okay. What do you think your approach is going to be?
Well, I think maybe we take to the sewers because we have Fel, who is not the best at stealth. Thank you.
Second that to get to the kitchen.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah,
to me.
you don't quite know where you will come out of, but it'll be somewhere on the base floor. So, okay, so do that. Says like, well, there's plenty of entrances to the sewers. I'm sure that any of the taverns you find would probably have a very gross way to get in there. Otherwise, you would have to find. How did you even get into sewers back in the old days? There weren't manholes.
Like random.
There might have been. I don't know.
Like
I don't know, when did
canals.
manholes? Yeah. Yes, perhaps.
Like the canals.
So I was actually trying to gauge the second floor privy on that map to decide if it's one of those ones that just has the chute that just falls outside the castle. You know, it could land on people.
I would say that knowing that there's sewers, there's probably some sewer system that it drops down into.
So the Romans were obsessed with sewage, drainage, and manholes, and the first basic design of manhole was 3500 BC.
Holy moly.
No, it's holy shit. There's actual
The hole. It's a hole. The shit.
So, I would say she does not know exactly how to get into them. There may be like entrances that spill out, so like sewers spill somewhere. There may be a spillage entrance around the outside of town. You'd have to like probably find the lowest point and maybe look for it. So, unfortunately, I was too busy protecting the land to learn of its infrastructure. But the only way I know of entering a sewer is through the things that we put down the sewer. So your tavern may have a good point of ingress.
I just am looking and sizing up Clive.
What do you want to know about him?
No, I'm just trying to decide if I could fit him in a toilet.
He's a very slender dwarf.
Yeah. So yes, I think he could fit in a toilet.
Okay. So, yeah, if you want to go to the
Is
sewer,
your plan to send just him?
I'm considering. Just
Send him.
considering.
Go find us an entrance.
and then I will do my own private Clive adventure. Clive, who has a slingshot and a dagger.
Send him
And
to
the
just
axe.
find a way for us to get into the sewer.
Yeah, he needs to
With
just
my
go find a manhole cover, and then let us in.
Not for nothing, but Scott, you introduced some of the funniest people that we just end up hating for no reason.
Yeah, there's no reason to hate Swinton. He did you guys a solid. You guys fucking hate him. My NPCs are just they aren't like, I guess you guys like Chonk. My NPCs are just people that you torture and hate.
We like Jagoda. Jagoda was cool.
Oh yeah, you guys like to go. You guys like the strong criminals. I was having so much fun writing this little outpost, and like they could just stay here for a long time. I could make a lot of things up off of just these people. There's a whole bunch of shitheads trying to make a town happen out of nothing. And the criminals are nicer than the educated people from the Vellum steeple. Anyway, so yeah, you're gonna look for sewers. So yeah, you kind of have two options there. And then yeah, what are you guys thinking when you get into the castle?
plundering the kitchen.
You wander into the kitchen, take what's there.
The
So
kitchen does
did
not
she?
seem
So
to
we have
a
no idea where
door.
these like magical statue things are.
Make an intelligence check. You're a wizard. $17. You would. The most obvious place would be in the mage's tower, but you don't know how protected that would be, and like just gauging it, looking at like and how Navis has described it, like it's just floating off like 20 feet away from the building. It's just floating out in space, so it might not be the easiest thing to get to. But that is probably your best guess. Let me actually make sure that would be your best guess. 17 is pretty good.
This map confuses me.
That would probably be your first idea. The only other thing, since your statues, maybe the art gallery. So probably those would be your two best guesses.
Looking at the map, Scott, trying to understand. The kitchen does not seem to have a door on it. How does one get into the kitchen?
The kitchen, it should just since this is a hand-drawn map.
It's in the stairs. You go through the stairs to the hall.
Yeah, it's probably like it's at the base of the stairs. Let me look at the actual map, because there's a real map for this.
There's a couple things like that. So on the first floor, the armory connects to the study that connects to the stairs up that tower, but there's no door into the armory.
Oh, and also there's like stairs in between, and yeah, I guess it's kind of hard, especially because it's this is like what it would look like if it was still all on the ground. Different parts of it are also floating out. So what you can probably, as you're doing that, make and someone can help him, like make some sort of intelligence-based check to like kind of figure out where some of these things might be now that things are floating. Like you definitely.
I have a thing for maps. Something.
Oh my god! I crushed an intelligence check.
You got the maximum number you can get. Okay, what you would know, like staring at this and like thinking about castles, the armory is definitely detached. There's like one of the highest up things is probably the bed chambers of the king, and the mage tower easily can see that it's detached. And all of these are kind of like detached off and floating up higher than the second story of the castle. Yeah, so since it's a hand-drawn map, you don't totally know. There's not doors there are doors that aren't marked, but you can just kind of intuit there's got to be a door into it somewhere. So.
I think Felix would like to figure out how to get into the adventuring mementos room, whatever that is.
Yeah. What? Yeah. So if you ask Nair's like, oh, what's this adventure like? Mementos, and yes, my king was quite the adventurer when he was young, before he just became the kind, benevolent man that ruled this city so well. It holds things like his old weapons and artifacts and just treasure from his days long gone. it's quite nice in there. He was very proud of it. I imagine it's still open to anybody, but maybe fairly well guarded, since it is stuff of import. So be careful. I'm sure that King Jairus would not mind you taking and using some of those items as long as they were returned upon your success.
Of course.
Make a deception check.
That's gonna be 17 plus 9, so what's that, 28?
26. They got a
Oh,
2.
you're right, 26.
They got a 2. Like, yes, you guys are heroes of quite honor. Please take what you can, and if it helps you save my king. Okay.
So I do see a privy. I'm assuming this is maybe where we're gonna pop out.
Yeah. So right now, your guys' plan is to find a sewer entrance. From the sewer entrance, find a way deduced under the castle, and then go up from there. Okay. Sounds like a good enough plan to me. Yeah, you guys kind of have your choice of how you want to find a sewer. You can walk around the city and try and find entrance there. It might be a bit longer, or you can try and get like into the city and find a place that sluices down as well. But
sorry, I kind of had to walk away, Scott. So the tower that's next to the king's bedroom and the armory is floating. But the study / heart of
the heart of Theros, and that the entire king's bedroom is floating up like at the highest point above the second floor.
Okay.
The armory is also floating, detached from where it is. It's like also very high up. And then the mage tower is the most like obvious, like floating off and up. Everything's coming off the second floor. So like your second floor, like the mage tower, yeah, everything's coming off the second floor. So you'd have to at least get to the second floor and probably jump out a window, or if there's a broken wall, to get to some of these things. So
do we have enough rope and climbing supplies? I wanna maybe plan on Sherpa with my boots, tying off some ropes, you know.
like a rope crossbow thing.
yep.
I think I'm out of rope, so
Yeah, I think I don't know how much rope you guys have. You guys have used a lot of it and probably destroyed a lot of it. So I would say you could be provided probably like one thing of 50 feet of rope from Nair's. If you wanted any more, you would have to go find some.
I'm gonna preemptively cast owl. I feel like I'm gonna be sacrificing an owl for sure.
Okay. Yeah, so you can cast owl, and that takes 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Or an hour.
Yeah, because I'm doing ritual, so.
Yeah, so it takes a while. While everyone's planning and kind of talking, you start casting. You have owl back.
Okay.
Steve is just hanging out with Chunk and Vugs. Vugs, who has a new occupation as busboy.
We have a lot of horses now.
And a moose.
And a moose.
Everyone was just baffled. Like, what the fuck are they riding in on not just a moose, a giant moose?
So I got the rope. Is that right?
You have one length of 50 feet of rope. There's probably you could probably find more in town if that's the way you wanted to go, but yeah. I really it's just more planning. I think that probably this would be the best place to stop because then we could do probably the entire thing next time, but we still have 15 minutes if there's other questions or more planning you guys want to do, or just sit and bullshit. I want a new computer so bad.
Do it.
That's not something I need to spend money on right now. I have a car to fix. Okay. Well, if you guys think you're good, then I'll just take those notes down. You're planning on looking for sewer entrances, and whether they be on the outside or in the city, and go there. So that'll be fun. I like that a lot more. Like how the story actually goes. Like you just walk up to the castle.
Yeah, I like this sewer entrance thing. I think this is going to be fun.
Yeah. But
I'm trying to imagine how an old-timey sewer entrance would get up into the privy. I feel like it's going to be interesting.
Maybe you'll need rope.
Might.
And it's going to be gross as hell.
Like Clive's just gonna die from that shit. Just a floating
Poor
shit.
Clive. Guys.
Done.
Poor Clive.
Don't feel bad for Clive.
I feel bad for Clive because he was supposed to be just like straight up shitty, but you play into your greed of wanting more stuff. But then he just became funny shitty, and so you have to take him along.
It would be so fitting if he actually dies in a shithole. Like a literal shithole.
Well,
He jumps out and just falls and is dead.
You remember when we played Monster of the Week and we did the arcade one and the arcade owner ended up being super shitty?
Yeah.
He was not supposed to be that way. I don't think like, it was not in my brain to make him so shitty, but it just ended up that way.
But the moment that I said, "Oh yes, hello," you're like, "Ah, fuck this dude."
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, but the moment that you use a bad voice for someone, then they're like, "Oh well, this guy has been defined by his voice. He's not cool, and he sucks ass." Well, that was very fun, guys. Thank you. Thank you for getting to my fairy tale story.
Yeah.
Does this come from like another
book? Yeah. It comes from Keys to the Golden Vault, which it's like a mix. It's like 13 different adventures that are all heists.
Yeah.
And I had a different one, but that one wasn't as. I thought this one was sillier because it's just so obviously like high fantasy, like not realistic at all. Whereas the other one I could have also fit in, but the other one's like a reverse heist. You had to return something, and it just wasn't as interesting. So there's one other one in here that's like a true like heist of an art place that I might work in somewhere because they're fun. I like that you have to plan a bit more. So, but yeah, so I have a real map. I got to create a sewer map probably, which is easy enough. Well, good. Well, what's everyone else doing with their Sunday?
Toby's working on a pool noodle dress at the moment.
Oh, go help with that. Are you gonna do any fence stuff?
We'll see how she's feeling. We talked about doing it, but I know both of us are pretty tired, so we'll see what we end up doing.
Yeah. If you just set all the tailgate stuff out, I'll come pick it up tomorrow.
Are you sure?
Yeah.